What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming back at you with another pregame sauce. Got an interesting game today, like we always do in the Big Ten, right? Penn State at Wisconsin. Now, why would this be interesting to people who may not be following the Big Ten daily or every night like I do? Well, this is a rematch of a game last week where these two teams played and Penn State won 81-71. And it was an impressive victory. Aaron Stalk Fleet, Zoomer Sports was up. Illini Charge, BR Entertainment 6270. Thanks for jumping on. Stan T.O. what's happening. Penn State beat Wisconsin 81-71 in their last game. And this tonight will be the rematch. So it's unusual when you play a conference team back to back, but COVID, everything is unusual. So that's what we're looking at tonight. The game is Penn State at Wisconsin, 7:30 Central Standard Time on Big Ten Network. Key player for Penn State is Isaiah Brockington. And why do I say that? Because Myron Jones is gonna get his. He's an outstanding three-point shooter. Not streaky. He's a good shooter. 44% from three. Seth Lundy is kind of a streaky guy as well. Depends a lot on the three-point shot. But Isaiah Brockington, Brian Butch, my Big Ten Network colleague, said that Brian Butch is the best player in the Big Ten in transition. And when he said it, I kind of like, really? But then I thought about it, and I think he's right. Outside of Jacob Young at Rutgers, I think Isaiah Brockington may be the toughest guy to kind of contain in transition. He's a handful coming downhill. He had a nasty dunk in the second half. He caught a pass from Myron Jones. He went right up through the lane. A couple Wisconsin guys flew at him. He flushed it like hard, just off the catch, but boom, up and down. I mean, he's a great athlete, streaky shooter, but he put in mad work against them. He had 18 points. So he is the key player for Penn State. The key player for Wisconsin is Nate Reavers. Nate Reavers had been struggling before the last two games. He had 18 points in this last matchup. And I thought he was, in a slump. He was adjusting, the COVID situation. Guys, these players, this is not a picnic for these players. They wake up, they get tested, they hold their breath for about 30, 45 minutes to see whether they're going to be able, whether they're negative and whether they'll be able to play. So you have that emotional roller coaster when you start the day. Then they go back to their rooms. They can't room together. They have to be in individual rooms. Then they go to practice or shoot around. They're around their team. Then they have to go back into isolation. Then they go play the games. Then they come back into isolation. I mean, these guys are breaking up with longtime partners, girlfriends, whatever. They're breaking up with people because they have to have a supreme commitment to what they're doing. So it's no cakewalk. And Nate Reavers, being a senior, he might have been going through some stuff around COVID, trying to figure things out. He was in a slump, but boy, has he busted out lately. And I think he's one of the premier bigs in the Big Ten Conference. So he's a key for Wisconsin tonight. The keys for Penn State is to speed up Wisconsin. What do I mean by that? Penn State plays a lot of guards, a lot of Jamari Wheeler, Sam Sessoms, Myron Jones, Isaiah Brockington. These are athletic, fast guards who like to get up in you, especially Jamari Wheeler. He loves to take away your personal space. He's one of the steals leaders in the Big Ten. They forced Wisconsin into a season high of 12 turnovers. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but for a Wisconsin team, that's a lot of turnovers. That's a season high in turnovers. So Penn State, they want to get up under you. They want to speed you up. They were able to speed up Wisconsin and get easy buckets. They got live ball turnovers that they were able to turn into points. And that's what got them over the hump. Greg Boysaw was good. Go Illini 90-94. What's happening? Keys for Wisconsin. Dominate the paint. I told you Nate Reavers is coming out of a little bit of a slump. He had 18. Micah Potter didn't do as well in the previous game because he got in early foul trouble. But Wisconsin has the size that they can dominate Penn State in the paint. If they can get past the first level of pressure that the Nittany Lions will apply, if they can get it, like I said, if sometimes Nittany Lions go three-quarter court, sometimes they half court man-to-man run and jump you. They give you a lot of different looks to try to keep you off balance. But when Wisconsin can get it in the half court and they can get it in the post, Tyler Wall can do damage. Aleem Ford can do damage, along with Nate Reavers and Micah Potter. So the keys for Wisconsin is to dominate the paint. They got to get the ball in the paint, and they want to take better care of the basketball. Let me go over here to my tribe. DC Champ 22, what's happening? Thanks for jumping on. Leroy JoJo Campbell, what's good? Thanks for joining, my man. Appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Scott Britton. Try to do something. You guys ever heard of Stitch Fix? STITCH Fix, FIX. And it's a men's clothing kind of service where you go through a questionnaire, kind of things you like, and they'll send you something. It's a monthly membership. It's like the rest of the monthly memberships. And they sent this shirt jacket combination. These are kind of typically colors that I wouldn't choose, but Scott, since you said I look good, you love the suit, I'm sharp, a razor sharp, I like it too. So thank you. I appreciate that. Jeff Jarvis has Wisconsin by 7. That's not a bad prediction, Jeff. I think they'll play better. Even though Wisconsin, to me, has not been consistent at home, they've really not played their best basketball at home. Indiana took them to double overtime. The Hoosiers should have won that game, and they let it out of their grasp. Maryland beat them at home. I believe Minnesota played them tough there as well. So without the fans in the Kohl Center, and this is any venue right now, but without the fans, it's a little bit easier to go into Madison, Wisconsin and get a victory. But that's not a bad prediction there, Jeff, because Wisconsin, this is a veteran team that bounces back very well from losses. Okay. That's funny, Carol. How'd I feel being back at the State Farm Center calling the game? When did you find out you were going to be calling it there? I know you wanted to put on your uni and get out there and play. I learned about a week and a half or 2 weeks before, Carol, that I was going to be able to call the game. And it was fun. It's always fun to go back home. And for that game, especially because it's a big rivalry game, I've got my own history in that rivalry. I know about the rivalries that have happened since I've left school. So it was always it's always a good time to go back home and be able to call a game. Say hello from me to your brother, John. John, who are you talking about, Michael? Brother John. Still trying to figure out who Michael's talking about. Not quite familiar with who he's referring to. But yep, that's those are the keys. Let me go through them real quick again. Game is at 7:30 Central Standard Time, Big Ten Network. Hope you guys tune in. The key player for Penn State is Isaiah Brockington, a very athletic left-handed guard, about 6'3". I think he's 6'4". Philly guard, tough, athletic. If you haven't seen Penn State play, you want to tune in. This is a very interesting team. Jim Ferry, the interim head coach at Penn State, has done a magnificent job. Pat Chambers was let go right before the season. That's a tough thing to do, is to come in from an assistant position and get the interim head coaching tag and have your players build that trust. But Penn State has done that. And don't let their 6-7 record fool you. This is a quality team that could fight for an NCAA tournament bid. They're talented, they're athletic, and they shoot the three very well, and they shoot it often. So this is a talented team. Isaiah Brockington, one of the more exciting players in the Big Ten. Key player for Wisconsin is Nate Reavers, the senior big who had been in a little bit of a funk, but he's starting to come out of it now, starting to play very, very well. Lynn Holly, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. The keys for Penn State is to speed up Wisconsin. Penn State forces more turnovers than any team in the Big Ten Conference. They do a great job of forcing steals, getting deflections, and giving you different looks on the defensive end. They like to speed you up. So that's the key for Penn State, is to speed up Wisconsin, make them play a little bit faster. Wisconsin had a season-high 12 turnovers in their last game against Penn State. And I don't quite remember the points off turnovers, but they were big in favor of Penn State. And that was one of the reasons they were able to win 81-71 in the last game. Because remember, this is a back-to-back. This is unusual. The last game was at Penn State. Penn State wins 81-71. They've got a little break in their schedule due to COVID protocols. The rematch is tonight, and we'll see what happens. Keys for Wisconsin: dominate the paint. Wisconsin is a much bigger team, and if they can get past the first line of pressure, Tyler Wall had a great game in the post. Aline Ford was able to score in the post. Nate Reavers did a lot of his work in the post. So can Micah Potter. Even the guards from Wisconsin with their offense, their swing offense, they do some different variations off of it, but they'll get guards in the post. They'll get bigs in the post. And I think that Wisconsin, if they can dominate the paint, they can win this game tonight against Penn State. Meredith Evans, thanks for jumping on. Let me see. I got three more here. Wisconsin had a ton of turnovers and Penn State capitalized off turnovers. See, Lynn Holly knows the game, y'all. She's a tribe member. Let me see here. Oh, you talking about John Jarvis. Okay. Roland Treese. Have you seen Sharif Cooper, point guard at Auburn? Solid season so far. I've read about him, and good to see you, Roland. Thanks for tuning in. I've read about him, but I haven't seen Auburn. Haven't seen a full game of Auburn. I've seen a few highlights, but I'll go check them out because they are having a better than expected season, having lost a couple players in the NBA draft. Ray J 240s, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Meredith Evans, always good to see you. Thank you for jumping on. Tribe member, Meredith Evans. Tip-off is at 7:30, Bowsinger. 7:30, Big Ten Network, Wisconsin versus Penn State. And as always, hold on. Let me take this off. As always, the tribe has been growing. People have been actually joining with the tribe. I love it. You want to be a part of the inner circle, Bardo's Breakdown, text me to 312-847-2739. That's 312-847-2739. Or you can go to Bardo's Breakdown group on Facebook. There's 3 simple questions. Answer those questions, and you'll be in. Simple as that. I'll have final March Madness picks. I'm going to give them to my tribe. I'm not going to announce them on this larger platform that we're on today. But if you're a member of the tribe, you'll get my March Madness picks, which will help you win your pool, which will help you win money. So I'm going to help you win money. So you definitely want to join the tribe if you get a chance. Tune in tonight. It's the Big Ten this year, and I know you guys, we probably wear it out, but top to bottom, with the exception of Nebraska. Nebraska is such a new team. They've had a lot of COVID issues. They're trying to come out of protocols right now. Outside of Nebraska, every other team, in my opinion, can really fight you tooth and nail if you're not on top of your game. Now, obviously, if Michigan's playing well, who's in COVID protocol, their whole athletic department's on COVID protocol. They shut down the whole thing because they got one of those variants. I believe it was the South African variant, or was it the British variant? One of the variants showed up on Michigan's campus, and their sports program was like, you know what, we're shutting the whole thing down. So, but when Michigan is playing well and they're hitting on all cylinders, they can beat almost anybody, as can Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. I put those 4 teams in that category. But any of the teams that I didn't mention can beat any of those 4 on any given night. Purdue may be the hottest team in the Big Ten right now. They can beat anybody on any given night. Ohio State can beat can beat any team in the Big Ten, right? And if Northwestern catches you on a bad night, they can beat you as well. So tune in, guys. I'm telling you, because you look on paper and you'll say, oh man, that's not gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a blowout. Not this year. Not this year. Now, we have had blowouts, but they've been surprises. It's not the norm. It's more the exception than the norm. Chris Pete, 30, thanks for jumping on. Let me see who I got here. Aaron Janowski, what's good? Aaron Janowski is a tribe member. Love the Big Ten basketball. It's a war zone every game, regardless of the record. I couldn't have said it better. Hey, Stephen, are you doing the Illini pregame tonight too? No, I'm just doing my game. Illini have Indiana tonight, and I can do it real quick off the top of my head. The key player for Indiana is always Trace Jackson Davis, one of the premier big men in all of college basketball. He's agile. He's a lefty. He can pass. He can put it on deck a little bit. He can rebound out of space, meaning that if he's on the right block and he sees the ball going to, going to bounce over to the left block, he can elude a box out and go get it. He is talented. He gets to the free throw line as much as any player in the Big Ten. So Indiana's key player is Trace Jackson Davis. Illinois' key player who has emerged, Jacob Grandison, had a double-double against Iowa. If Jacob Grandison, he doesn't even need to score the basketball, ladies and gentlemen. If he rebounds the way that he has in the last couple games, he's a key player for Illinois. I think Ayo Dosunmu turned the corner against Iowa. But you know what? He didn't turn the corner. Let me back up. His numbers are still stellar. His numbers right now, he's one of 3 Big Ten players in history to average 20 points, 6 rebounds, and like 4 assists or something like that. It's an incredible stat. So he's playing out of his mind. He's always the key player for Illinois, but I like to give you guys somebody else to look at. Jacob Grandison. Watch him because he's starting to really evolve. And if he can hit the glass like that, Illinois is dangerous. Okay. The keys for Indiana would be to get balanced scoring outside of Trace Jackson Davis and Armand Franklin. Rob Phinisee and Aljamain Durham have the ability to hit you for 15 or 20 each. They've been inconsistent, especially Rob Phinisee. Aljamain Durham has been a little bit more consistent. I think Trey Galloway may still be dealing with some back issues. I think he missed their last game. Christian Lander is starting to play a little bit better. Freshman starting to get a little bit more time. Geronimo has been good. Jerome Hunter is starting to play better for Indiana. They need multiple contributions. They need multiple guys in double figures because Illinois can score, right? And so Illinois' keys, keep Kofi Cockburn out of foul trouble. Why do I say that? Because if Kofi's out of foul trouble, he's occupying Trace Jackson Davis and more than likely will put him in foul trouble. So if you keep Kofi out of foul trouble, then everything can rotate around Kofi. Illinois likes to establish Cockburn in the paint. He gets in the paint and can score. He can get fouled, get to the free throw line. Keep Kofi out of foul trouble is the key tonight for Illinois against Indiana. So I hope that answered your question right there. That was an impromptu. What do you think Maryland is favored? Why do you think Maryland is favored over Purdue? Because Vegas wants a lot of money coming to that game, and whoever made that line hasn't looked at Purdue lately. Kip Jones, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the toughest dudes of a Boilermaker that I ever had to play against. And Kip knows the game. So I'm not sure why Maryland is favored over Purdue. Actually, Kip, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Purdue is hot. I know the game is at Maryland. Maryland hasn't played particularly well at home. They've lost to Wisconsin. They've lost to Rutgers. And I don't know if they've lost anybody. I know they've lost at home to Rutgers. They've lost to who did I say? I said Rutgers and Wisconsin. But yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. Great question, Kip. Gage Spiegler, thank you for joining. C.Y. Markham, who are you calling the game with tonight? Brandon Gaudin. Me and Brandon are going to be on the 1s and 2s. Watch out for Ohio State. They are scary. Carol Paquette says. Ohio State's very good. Illinois seems to play up and down to its competition. I think they turned the corner. Aaron, we'll see tonight. But I think they turned the corner. I think you'll see a little bit more consistency from the Illini moving forward. should we be concerned that Iowa seems to disappear in big games with the exception of Iowa? Roland, it may appear that Iowa disappears in big games, but go back and look at his statistics. He doesn't disappear. He may not show up as much as you'd like to see him in crunch time. That might be what you're referring to, but statistically, he's been as dominant as anybody in the country. So it might be crunch time situation where you see where he may be hesitant to step up, or the Illini don't find a way to get him the rock or get him involved in late game situations. But I think they turned the corner against Illinois, and that 10-day break before Iowa, they got a chance to work on a lot of different things. So I think you'll see a little bit more consistency from the Illini. Okay, got an Illini fan there. I like when Illinois feeds off their defense. That's when they seem to be at their best. I totally agree, because they can get out in the transition and they can score. And they have guys that can score in transition. Curbelo is as good as anybody with the rock in transition. Io is as fast as anybody in the league. You saw Trent Frazier when he got out on the break against Iowa. They can get off to the races, can the Illini? So I agree with you there. Carson James, what's happening? Do you think Jim Ferry is fit to be Penn State's head coach in the coming years? Yes, I do, Carson. I like the way that Jim Ferry has got his team responding. I think they're a better offensive team under him than they were against Pat Chambers. He's made slight adjustments to what they're doing, and they're playing a style of basketball that their players love. They get after you, too. They didn't lose any of the intensity that they developed under Pat Chambers, but they've gotten a little bit better on the offensive end. So Jim Ferry definitely deserves to have the head coaching tag, in my opinion, because I love his demeanor. I didn't have anything wrong with Coach Chambers, because he was animated, got after it. He got after it. Jim Ferry's more composed, but his team is held accountable. They play their butts off for him. They haven't dropped in any way in intensity. So yes, Jim Ferry, I believe, should get the head coaching position at Penn State. How is Big Slim Jake down the stretch? I don't know who you talking to. Talking about Slim Jake. Can you elaborate what you mean by Slim Jake? The game is on Big Ten Network at 7:30. I know the Illini play at 8, but thought I saw where Wisconsin plays at 6. I hope they don't play at 6, because if they do, I'm in trouble. I'm going to have to run into the studio real quick. You got me scared, Carol. Hold on. Let me double check. I don't think that's the case, but let me check, because my tribe, Carol's part of the tribe. The tribe is they're on top of the game. So let's see. Penn State at Wisconsin, 7:30. Got me scared there, Carol. Woo-hoo. Yeah, my heart dropped for a second. All right. That'll do it, y'all. For this edition of Pregame Sauce. Hold on. A Cowan 20, thanks for jumping on. Braden 44. C.Y. Markham, watch the 87 Illinois versus Indiana game today. What an upset. I hope Illinois could play like that tonight. Well, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But I hope you guys have a great evening. Enjoy your night. And it's a good game, good night for good basketball on. Hope you tune in to Penn State at Wisconsin, 7:30 Big Ten Network. Holla, y'all. Peace.